CEFC of China Energy. Who is Chairman Yi? Chairman Yi and CEFC reportedly had connections to the Chinese military. Though it was in theory a private company, CEFC has layers of Communist Party committees, which are usually staples of state-owned enterprises. This CCP affiliated entity was closely connected with China's Belt and Road Initiative, and there's evidence Joe Biden was in business with it. Joe Biden was engaged so closely with Chairman Yi and CEFC that he planned to share office space in Washington, D.C. with him. Joe Biden was actually considered a partner. Let's break down the evidence. The email I have on display shows on September 21st, 2017, yes, we'll talk about that in a minute, Hunter Biden emailed the general manager, House of Sweden, a building in Washington, D.C., to request that keys be made available for office mates Joe Biden, Jim Biden, Gong Wendong, Chairman Yi's CFC emissary. Not only did Joe Biden share office space with the Chinese Communist affiliate of CFC leadership, his son, Hunter Biden, asked that the signage for the venture be listed as, quote, the Biden Foundation Hudson West, CEFC, U.S. In case it isn't clear,
there's no evidence.
Joe Biden was in
there's no evidence.
Dealings with CCP affiliated entity with a key to shared office space. The email I now have on display shows that Hunter Biden specifically referenced Joe Biden and his partner in this venture. Hunter even shared the personal phone numbers for Joe Biden too. Hunter Biden refers to as his partner along with Gong Wendong, Chairman Yi's emissary, and Jim Biden. The management was told to call Joe Biden if they chose. CEFC Chairman Yi additionally gifted Hunter Biden a diamond worth $80,000 during their business relationship. Chairman Yi was detained in 2018 by Chinese authorities and was initially reported by Chinese media that his detention in China was ordered directly by Chinese President Xi Jinping. Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent at the end of the record this email dated September 21st, 2017, showing Joe Biden's involvement sharing of office space with the family CCP League business partner, Chairman Yi Ming, without objection to order. Now let me ask you a question. Who do you think I'm referring to? Who has a family of high-ranking government officials receiving tons of money, cars, and luxury items from a foreign government? You might have said Senator Menendez, and you would be right. But Hunter Biden also received those same things. Mr. Turley, in your experience, is it concerning that a public official such as Joe Biden is involved with a CEFC China Energy, a company with ties to CCP, and Chairman Yi, who was later detained by China for fraud?
Sticker Mill is the internet's favorite printer.
Life can be uncertain. The weather shouldn't be. The Weather Channel. The world's most accurate.
Well, it's certainly a concern that some of these individuals have been either accused of or has been convicted of fraud, including one by the United States government. The question is whether that conduct extended to the vice president or the president today, and whether that's part of a continuum of conduct.
Mr. Dudinsky, when you see a pattern of problems, particularly in corruption, doesn't that pattern usually continue? It's a cover-up. Do you agree with that statement?
I do. We call it pattern evidence, and that's what we look for when we're doing investigations, to see what's continuing in that regard.
So if you were started prior as a vice president, we would continue through this as a private citizen. You'd see it also as president. So those would be aspects that you would follow through, right?
Absolutely.
Now, for all three of you, real quick. The other side has said over and over again, you've given no information. But isn't it true that we should be looking to you for establishment? I'm not an attorney, neither are most of these folks here. Shouldn't we be utilizing your expertise to go get that information to make sure it's valid? Mr. Turley, would you agree with that?
I agree. My testimony tried to lay out the historical baseline for an inquiry. This is just the beginning of that formal inquiry.
Mr. O'Connor?
My testimony was to aid in understanding what the whistleblowers had brought forward.
Mr. Dudinsky?
And my testimony was centered around conducting an unbiased investigation and getting to the truth.
See, unbelievable. I think this is just so perfectly set up. We wanted the very basis of this, and we wanted to slow, methodical, make sure it is done appropriately. You know, it just overwhelms me when we start to see the rhetoric that comes out of that side, and especially the show that we just saw. You know, that belongs on Saturday Night Live.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, a unanimous consent motion, request rather. I would like to enter 6 different instances of the Devin Archer transcript.
It's been entered twice, but if you want to enter it again, go ahead.
Yeah, well, there's 6 ones where he said that all they discussed was the weather.
Yeah, no, Mr. Coleman, we'll enter in the whole entire transcript for the 3rd time.
Thank you.
Without objection
Fucking
to order,
sham,
Mr. Chairman.
man.
Mr. Lee.
Fucking sham, all that bullshit you kept
I'd
on
like to ask for
thinking.
unanimous consent to enter October 23rd, 2020 Wall Street Journal article that states text messages and emails provided to the journal by Mr. Bobolinsky don't show either Hunter Biden or James Biden discussing a role for Joe Biden in the venture.